In the shadows of a brutal war, a chilling narrative is emerging from behind enemy lines. 3 captured Ukrainian soldiers, now prisoners of war in Russian custody, have made harrowing claims of abandonment, mental collapse, and systemic failure within the armed forces of Ukraine. Their testimonies, recorded under unknown circumstances, paint a devastating portrait of what they call the frontline's boiling point.
After I had completed military training, we were sent to the position. 3 days later, the commander arrived, call sign Rafik, showed us the point where our guard post would be located. Me and 2 other brothers in arms with me.
Alexander Pahomenko was barely out of boot camp when he was deployed to what he says was a suicide post, with no support, no reinforcements, and no way out.
We stayed for 3.5 months. We had no medicine, only the first aid kits we took. They came with food once a week, as well as water.
What followed, he says, was not survival, but slow suffering.
Conditions. I think a good owner treats animals better. Then we began to understand that we were simply thrown. We were left to our own devices.
In some instances, the situation became so dire, soldiers were forced to drink their own urine to stay alive.
There were times when we had a bottle of water for 3. We ate, but we didn't eat anything. It happened that my brothers and I would drink coffee and piss. If it rained, the rain would save us.
With no communication with their families, soldiers began to believe they'd been cut off intentionally.
When we were sending greetings to our relatives on the radio, it is unlikely that they did not get through to us. But the fact that they make people, 500s, expose them as failures, it's beyond my comprehension.
Across the front line, another captured soldier paints a similarly bleak picture, not from the trenches, but from what's left of his hometown.
There is practically no one on the street, and we have a lot of obelisks, cemeteries, flags of the dead. They recruit people, and they disappear.
Alexander Sichugov says Ukraine's recruitment effort has become a death lottery, a machine that pulls people in, only to never be seen again. But perhaps the most explosive testimony comes from Sergei Vykrest, a man who says he walked away from a death mission and paid the price.
They told me you were already in the 2nd company. In the morning, you would leave for the assault. I barely lasted there for 3 days, and after that, most of our infantry was gone.
Terrified, he refused to go on another assault. Instead, he handed over his weapons and left. He says his commander warned him he'd be put on the AWOL list, a fate he accepted.
Commander, I don't want to die, and I handed him everything as required. The weapons, the Beka, the weapon. I gave everything to him and went home.
But going home, he says, brought its own nightmare. Sotnawi, Sergei Vykrest.
My local police officer came to my house, and the military police were with him. They took me first to the UMN on the VSP. They treated me badly, interrogated me with electricity.
Tortured, interrogated, and redeployed. Vykrest was sent back to the front with the 143rd Mechanized Brigade. There, he made his final decision to surrender. These testimonies, now amplified by Russian media, are part of an intensifying information war. They may be manipulated, they may be coerced, but they carry emotional weight and a clear strategic message that Ukraine's army is cracking under the weight of endless war. Whether these are cries of a truth or carefully staged narratives, they serve a single chilling purpose: to make the world question whether the Ukrainian soldier has been forgotten by their own.